Tonight on NBC 10 News at 5. News leader. This is NBC 10 News Today.
Storms over the weekend leaving significant damage in parts of Louisiana. We'll have the latest on what remains after the storm.
And pro-choice advocates planning a nationwide protest after more states vote to ban abortions. Details coming up.
Plus, the president lifting some tariffs on certain goods. How the move affects the 2020 election.
All right, the time now is 6:33. We're halfway through this thing.
Yeah. Well, more than halfway. I think
Were you singing along with the song?
It's kind of a catchy song.
Swing. Did you see that?
I did not.
We're, what, 3/4 of a way through? More than halfway.
No, we are halfway.
No, we are halfway, Chris. Yes, there we go.
Well, for viewers who don't watch Fox 14,
why wouldn't they watch Fox 14?
They should. I'm just saying, in case, whatever reason they can't get Fox 14, we're 3/4 of a way through.
Is today going to be a good day to adopt a puppy?
Every day is a
from
good
the shelter.
day.
Weather-wise, though.
Yes.
Is it going to be raining, or
maybe a little bit later, but still a good day to adopt a puppy.
or a cat like Winston?
Yes.
Well,
always a great day.
What's National Quiche Lorraine Day? What is that?
Some kind of quiche, I'm assuming.
Never heard of it. I just saw it on the National Day website.
Well, I leave some of them out.
Yeah,
Those are
we
just
purposely
the
leave
bad-
out the boring ones,
I see what
You
you
bring
did
up the bad ones every
National
day.
Rescue Dog.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Hey.
We got some cloudy weather outside right now. We're going to be looking at a summer-like forecast for the rest of the week. Once you head outside, you can probably feel it. Temperatures are humid. You got dew points around 70 outside in the upper 80s. Still a gloomy look outside. We'll be seeing some sun, just low rain chances for the afternoon. Got more storms throughout the next 3 days before we dry out. Got all your forecast details on the way. That's your forecast first.
All right, thanks, Reed. Storms ripping through the Arkell over the weekend, leaving significant damages across our state. We begin our coverage in West Monroe, where this family's home, right there, was split in two after a huge tree fell on it Sunday morning. The house, a total loss. Inside the homes, it's complete ruins. Frances Cooper says the tree fell on their home while she was making breakfast and her husband was sleeping.
I could hear something hit the roof of the house like something was crumbling. I know I can get another house, but I can't get another life.
Cooper says her grandson usually stays in a room that was completely crushed by the tree. She says she's grateful he wasn't at home at the time. Fortunately, no one was injured.
Over in Iberia Parish, located near Lafayette, debris from a nearby building flew into one man's yard.
Lester Duhay has more.
About 7:20, we woke up to a loud noise. It sounded like a freight train like they see on TV.
That's the building and the power lines. Look at it right here.
Kurt Babineau took this video of the storm rolling through Iberia Parish near LA 31 early Sunday morning. When his family initially heard the loud noise coming from the wind, they took cover.
Got my wife up, we ran into the bathroom and kind of hid there for a couple of minutes, and next thing you know, we heard all the sound like maybe something flying apart.
The storm lifted parts of the roof from the building next door. The high winds bringing pieces of the roof flying into trees and some landing in Babineau's yard.
You can see the beams in the tree too, and wrapped it around the telephone posts and the power lines like it was tinfoil basically.
Linemen from CLECO worked diligently to restore power to the area and put utility poles back in place. The sheer power of the winds on full display here.
Basically wrapped the tin like it's aluminum foil, you know? It's like it's almost nothing.
Babineau says it was a scary few minutes, especially thinking the roof of his home could come off next.
Happy to be alive? Yes. Yes. Just, I don't know if I got that worried, but it's worried about the house, taking off and everything, so pretty cool.
Continuing our coverage down in southern Louisiana, Mayor Jennifer Verdreen has declared Ville Platte in a state of emergency. This after early Sunday morning storms tore through the area. Ville Platte police report several damages to include downed trees, houses blown to the middle of the road, power outages, and bad travel conditions. Currently, no injuries have been reported, but everyone is being encouraged to stay home.
It sounded like destruction, complete mayhem. I'm talking like trains was colliding. That's how much forcing winds, trees was falling. It was very nerve-wracking, like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's very catastrophic.
That's the worst I ever saw. Like, I've been living here for the longest, and
I never experienced this
Through
at all.
Hurricane Lily, through Hurricane Katrina, Gustav, it was nothing compared to Harvey. It was nothing compared to just like 3-4 hours of just mayhem.
Governor John Bel Edwards is expected to tour the damages in Ville Platte, and he's also meeting with local officials in Ruston today to tour the areas hit by severe weather last month. Governor Edwards will hold a press conference to update us on the ongoing recovery efforts around 11:30 this morning. We'll have updates on our website, myarklemis.com, later on.
Dozens of abortion rights activists are preparing for a national protest Tuesday. This coming after recently passed state bills that ban most abortions. John Lawrence reports.
Demonstrations throughout Alabama this weekend.
We've only just begun.
This days after the state enacted the strictest anti-abortion law in the country.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, abortion ban has got to go.
The Alabama law prohibits all abortions except when the woman's life is at risk or the presence of a lethal fetal anomaly. It does not include exceptions for incest and rape. More than a dozen states have either passed or considered measures to restrict abortion this year. Missouri Governor Mike Parson is set to sign an 8-week abortion bill into law.
I believe in the pro-life side of the issue, and I'm going to sign the bill.
Not all Republicans are on board with these laws.
I'm pro-life, but there ought to be exceptions for rape and incest and where the life of the mother is at risk.
President Trump said the same thing in a weekend tweet, saying his stance on the issue is similar to the one taken by former President Ronald Reagan.
Polling from Perry Undum that says that 53% of Republicans do not want Roe v. Wade to be overturned. But this is a matter of a small minority that is deeply passionate about this, has very strong beliefs that abortion should be illegal.
The ACLU, which supports abortion rights, says it'll sue to make sure none of those laws ever go into effect. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
This week, Louisiana is expected to see a final vote on Senate Bill 184, a so-called heartbeat bill that's already been approved by the Senate.
President Trump announcing the U.S. is lifting some tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada this week. That includes steel and aluminum. The move clears a key hurdle from the Trump administration's replacement for NAFTA, but the ongoing U.S.-China trade war is still leading to major setbacks for many Americans, including farmers in Arkansas. With the 2020 election inching closer every day, members of both parties are aware this will be a key issue when voters cast their ballot.
But when you're direct harm on an industry that is already at its low, that's already suffering other issues, to pile this on top of it, and it being Arkansas's #1 industry, our leaders in Washington need to stand up and go, look, this is the bread and butter of our state. We're going to have to break through on that and fight. And I don't see any of them doing it.
Yes, the tariffs are burdensome and they're very hurtful to the agriculture community. The question is, are they worth it? Is it a worthy sacrifice to balance out the trade, prevent China from growing into a stronger competitor, both economically and militarily?
During a news conference, President Trump said his increase on tariffs on Chinese products and China's retaliatory tariffs was worth it to ensure that China would stop cheating the U.S. through trade.
Drivers finally seeing gas prices fall after a 4-month climb. Prices at the pump on average 3 cents cheaper, landing at around $2.93 a gallon. Industry analysts say this is a 6-cent drop this time last year, and more price cuts will depend on what crude oil prices will do. The highest price of gas is going for $4.08 in the San Francisco Bay Area. The lowest found in Baton Rouge, where it's an average $3.16 a gallon.
Speaking of gas, every weeknight on NBC 10 at 10, you have a chance to win some free gas. The prize, a $50 gas card brought to you by the Jim Taylor dealerships. If your name is called, you have by the end of the newscast to claim your prize. Register at one of the Jim Taylor dealerships or go to myarklemis.com and click on the contest tab.
Now, your local weather.
Time now is 6:42. We're looking outside. It's a cloudy morning. Haven't seen much sun since that came up just after 6. Temperature is 72 degrees right now, warm and humid if you're leaving the house. So you can dress light. We are looking at a high risk of severe weather over towards our west. So that is the first high risk that we have seen in the U.S. in more than 2 years, since 2017. Busy day expected. If you got interest over towards that Oklahoma, Texas area, be sure to reach out to them. Again, significant tornado outbreak, along with large hail and damaging wind gusts. For us, we are looking at a quieter forecast as we start to kind of shift into the summertime swing of things. Looking warm, humid, with some afternoon spotty showers. I'm going to bring you your full forecast coming up here shortly.
Still to come on NBC 10 News today, we lost our Pecanland Sears a little while ago, but good news if you feel like making a road trip.
Road trip. Sears is opening the store in Lafayette. Details on when you can begin shopping after the break.